It's Evangelion time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Robot Spirits Eva-00 from Neon Genesis Evangelion 2020. I guess it's based on the recent 3.0 plus 1.0, 0. I don't know what the title is, but this is basically, from what I can tell, a re-release of the Evas, which the Robot Spirit series has been pretty old, and the old versions have been pretty hard to get, so I'm very happy that I could get my hands on the re-releases. Big Eva fan, and I've been looking for the perfect Eva figures. We had to try at Marfex. Those were horrible. You can still go back and watch that. I'll have those for comparison in later, but let's have a look at this one. This is interesting. Like, this really gives me a lot to talk about, I feel like. So let's get into it. Stands at about 16 centimeters to the top of the head. If you count shoulder blades, would be almost 16 and a half. For your inches, you got like 6.5, 6.6 again, if you're going up to the shoulder blades. Now, the look and detail of the figure. Usually I go in on the head, but I just want to go give you a nice overlook. Aesthetically, I think it's pretty good. The only thing I kind of feel like is weird, I feel like the chest should be a bit wider. It seems very narrow. It seems really one line going down. It seems like they kind of tried to curve out a little bit, but that's really the only thing. I mean, you got like the long kind of gorilla arms and the legs, long legs, but that everything looks accurate to the Eva portrayal, which I'm used to. Paint and detail on the figure, there's a lot of detail, I gotta say, but the paint job is there's not really that much paint. It's a lot of unpainted plastic, to be fair, but let's get in on the detailed look, actually starting off with the head sculpt, which does look good. And to be fair, most of the paint here is clean, even though it isn't a lot, like the red on the side, and you kind of get like the red in the front, and that's like kind of like a gem that they put in there. You see it's a lot more shiny than the rest of the figure, than of the rest of the unpainted plastic. Then you got some black lines in the face sculpt, and then for the neck, you got some very cool engineering in there. As you move this up, this will split apart. I just want to show you that, so you already know. And that's really the thing, like the engineering, I feel like it's pretty genius, but we'll get to that. You got a hole in the back for the umbilical cord. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know, I just said it quickly. And then you got all the detail in the back over here, which is nice. You got two emblems on the shoulders, which don't have anything written on there. Again, that's something that the Marfex version had. And then you got the more black spot over here. Again, missing the writing on it. Now, there was a spot of paint which is really ugly. Oh yeah, the red up here is not filled up correctly, and it's just really bad. But that's really the biggest issue I had with the paint. Other than that, I don't really see anything that's really bad. There might be some bleeding, there might be some stuff where over here it should go up a little bit further, but that's really nitpicking, and I'm not really about that life. Also, the red over here is not the cleanest, but like I'm saying, it's not the worst that I've seen. I've seen plenty worse. And we got to the crotch piece. Also has some paint, a little bit of paint missing there in the corner. And down to the legs. You do have replacement parts. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that already. There's some parts to make you Evo a little bit different than what we have right here, right now, because the accessories are pretty crazy. So yeah, got some more detail in the feet, and actually toe hinge also, which the Marfex one did not have. And speaking of the Marfex one, so here we go. The Marfex one generally still looks nicer because, as I'm saying, it doesn't have as much unpainted plastic, and it seems like a little. I kind of like the colors more. They're a bit more muted, and that's really fine. That's really up to you, your preference. But as I'm saying, the biggest part is like the detail that is missing on the Bandai version, but also it has like the botched paint job, while the face paint on this one has been good for the most part, but you have all the added black lines, which are awful looking. Don't have the black lines on the Bandai version, but then again, then it doesn't look awful. Haha. I mean, if you're good at model kits, you can do them yourself, I guess. And you don't have to deal with this botched stuff. As same with the lines on the chest area. The lines on the Marfex version are awful, and the lines on the Bandai version are smaller, but as such they are better, and they don't have the small detail, the small black lines, and like really it seems like they left out a lot of the black lining that the Malfex version tried to do to make it look better, but horribly failed and actually just made it look worse. As such, yeah, you have this added detail which doesn't do anything because it just looks awful, awful, awful. And yeah, I don't know what else to add to that. The Malfex one is obviously taller, but the joints are also a lot more crap. Alright, so moving on with the Bandai version. And when I'm speaking of joints, of course, I'm speaking about the articulation. The head moves back, forward, does tilt side to side, not really that much, and does go all the way around, but really you also have the neck. So with that, it goes forward very nicely, and doesn't really go back, obviously, because of what you have in there. And let me just also, you can move out the head like that for really like the running pose and whatnot. So already, I'm pretty impressed when it comes to head articulation with this gal, actually, I guess, her. Then you go side to side, also neck, and has some rotation as well. So really, if you combine these two, you cannot complain about the head articulation at all. Feel like you got a lot out of it. Then for your shoulder articulation, you have the ball hinge on the shoulder itself and another ball joint in the chest area. It's kind of like with all the Figmas. So you can rotate that around, bring it back forward, and you have this piece which is connected over here in the back, which has kind of like a swivel. You can bring that back and forth as much as the shoulder piece lets you, and you can bring that down. So I can show you also the nice ball hinge that goes all the way up, is not blocked, and as I'm saying, can bring this back and forth and has some wiggle motion because I think it is on a ball, so that doesn't get into the way. Same thing for the shoulder, you can bring that side to side, kind of making up for a bicep swivel. And as I'm saying, just showing you also that you can still move this always in the same direction as the shoulder points. Really lining up everything nicely. Then you have the ball joint, ball hinge in the elbow, ball hinge in the head, back forward rotation. Also the one in the elbow, you can also rotate the entire joint over here. So you got some more out of that. Chest articulation is very nice as it connects. I didn't do that before. Be careful with that. I'm thinking, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking there's a ball hinge in here and in there. Not in the middle really, but as you can tell, this gives you a very, very good range forward, backward. It doesn't go back as much, but really due to the spine over here, it's kind of limited because of that, but I feel like it lines up very nicely in the front. It does tilt side to side quite a bit, and it does swivel, not the greatest. There it's really kind of falling apart, and I don't feel like pushing it more because of the sound. You can hear that. Then for your leg articulation, you got the entire joint on a hinge, same as with the Malfex, but other than with the Malfex, this one actually stays in place. Haha. Goes up for some very high kicks, goes out in an angle though, because obviously you have the crotch piece over here, but it does go up very nicely. It does go to the back, same thing. And it doesn't really go out because of the mold. I can't really get it. I'm trying to get it in a position where I might get more out of it, but I guess that's as far as it goes, just because of the leg plates, the 5 pieces, and have some rotation on there. Then the legs have some, the knees have some nice double hinges, goes up all the way completely unhindered, and the foot actually has some weird combination over here where you can rotate it around, and does also tilt side to side on the pivot beautifully. And then you have this piece which is just connected to the upper part of the foot. Again, does not get into the way, and you can wiggle it around to get it into position with your foot. And then you have a toe hinge, something Malfex didn't even have. And here we got all the accessories, and I feel like that's really a lot. I'm gonna keep it in the box so I don't have to fiddle around, because this is, well, some of it I'm gonna take a closer look at it. And yeah, here's also the instructions, kind of telling you what's going on, what's in the base, but I'll get to it. Like, I guess what's important is, like, what I'm not gonna show you is how you take off the arms and you replace the other shoulder pads with it, and how you just take the head in front. take this off. I mean, that's self-explanatory. You got the handcuffs, and you got another piece for the thighs. You got another chest piece. Just take one chest piece off, put the other one on. That's self-explanatory. Umbilical cord goes into a base, which is not included with the figure. And you have this tiny pinch kind of thing that you can put also on the base. For display pieces, actually works. I tried it out, and when we're talking about a base, it's like a Bandai Tamashii Nations base. I guess it also should work with the robot base. It should, it's a robot. So, anyway, I just got the humanoid base, and that seems to be working. Now, let's get that out of the way and have a look at the guts. You got fist hands, you got open hands, you got claw hands, you got the hands where the trigger finger hands for the gun, also if you want to angle the knife, and you got sharp hands. And yeah, there's like the extra stuff anyway. I want to have a look at the knife real quick. It looks very nice with the, I actually want to take this out if I can. It looks nice with the metallic paint job on there. Actually, let me see that, if it focuses on it. Yes, there we go. That looks very nice. Very well done actually on the paint job with that. Then you got the regular gun. The most iconic Eva gun we all know and love. Also looks pretty nice. Got some orange on there. And all good stuff. Got the big Gatling gun. Bergworks on the... Well, what was that anyway? Yeah, you can rotate this around. And it also spins, which I think the Morphex one even didn't do that. I'm not sure anymore, but I'm gonna stop roasting Morphex now. Well, no, I roast Morphex a little bit more later. But this is a great piece. Then you got the umbilical cord. Again, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, let me know. Has a beautiful, kind of like a gunmetal paint job to it. It looks nice. I love it. Also, it has a wire inside, so as such you can twist it. I feel like it's a fat wire though. It's really stiff, so kind of straightening it out would be a problem. I already have like it's like a little bit bent up over there. Because of the nature how it was in the box. But anyway, you got this piece which should go into the base. I'm just gonna show you that. Which, there you go. Just kind of put that in there. And then you can have full display with the clip. Where is the clip? There's the clip. Got this tiny clip which clips right onto the Eva's crotch. It is see-through, and it just goes on the base over here. And then you have some more display stuff. Again, base not included. I just showed you that stuff so you know. And then you got this extra piece for the back, which actually just open up over there. Put that on there, and then you have the little gray plastic antenna. You got some handcuffs, which do not open. I just want to see if that's a feature. No, just take the hands off and cuff the Eva, and then you got the different chest piece and the different shoulder pieces, which have less on it. Actually, it just has a black spot. Doesn't have the painted detail around it. I guess that's more like the old version. I'm not really sure anymore with the difference in the versions of the rebuild and whatnot, but that's all the accessories, which is quite a bit. And it's gonna do it. It's gonna bring me to the final thoughts for this Bandai Spirits Eva 00. Yeah, I don't know. Like, honestly, first things, the look. I think the look is still pretty great. I got some missing detail, unfortunately, as far as paint job goes, and the paint job is minimal because most of it is unpainted plastic. But as such, it still looks very nice, and I don't really have any troubles with it. Then you got the articulation. I think the articulation is amazing. Don't have any problems there. And then finally, you got the accessories. Same thing. It's awesome. The only thing that I'm kind of like, would have liked to have are like more grabby hands, because you have the trigger finger hands, but you don't have one that just actually just grabbing more. As such, the connection with the Gatling gun on the handle itself is pretty loose. It doesn't have the greatest grip on it, but obviously you would hold the Gatling gun with two hands. It does work, but it does kind of tend to slip off a little bit. And then you got the umbilical cord, which whatever it is, this cord, it's way too long, and the wire is a bit too stiff. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool that you have the option to pose it. Personally, it's annoying to me that it is so long. and it is so stiff. But other than that, this figure is amazing. I love this figure, and it's way better than this. Just generally speaking, price point, this cost me around 42 bucks on Ami. Then of course you add shipping and customs, so it will come out at like 60 up to 80 bucks, I'd say, depending on where you live. It shouldn't be a lot more expensive than that. And as such, for that price, I'm totally okay with, especially since this one was about 100 or even more. And yeah, it's a quality piece. It does come with a ton of accessory, and the articulation is very, very nice. And then, well, they could have added the base. That's really one where we're talking about pricing. They could have added the base, but they didn't. Still, at the end of the day, I love this figure. I think it's amazing, and I'm looking forward to more Bandai Spirits EVA re-releases. I got EVA-01 on pre-order, didn't get it on Ami, so I had to get it on Big Bad Toy Store. So it does take a little bit longer to get here, but I will review that eventually, and any future Bandai Spirits EVA releases, you're probably gonna see them on the channel, except for that weird prototype. I'm not sure about that one, but the main EVA line, if Bandai re-releases them, I will buy them. So there you go, but for this one, it is recommended. Don't have huge troubles with it, and pretty happy. Overall, that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever EVA-00 wants. Like, just a little bit better hands. But other than that, this is pretty great. I wanted to get it closer to the camera, but with all the stuff that's connected, that's kind of hard to do. Boom.